Hey everybody, welcome back to the Steam Summer Sale 2023. Guess who's still alive? It's me, I'm still alive. Yeah, I was not completely destroyed by that 2-hour under $5 episode or that 1 hour under $2 episode. So yeah, we're back at it. This is the final one. We're doing games under $1. And I know what you're thinking, how much game can you get for under $1? Be prepared to be surprised, because there's a lot of fun in this category. Trust me. We start off with 12 is better than 6. 12 is better than 6 is a really nicely done, hand-drawn, top-down shooter. It's pretty gruesome, as you could tell by that opening shot. Basically what happens is, this kind of shows the opening sequence, but you are basically a slave working in a mine, and of course you not liking it very much because slave labor is ridiculous. But look at you, you look like a shady character. And yeah, of course you take the pickaxe, you murder the guard, you take his hat, and then for the rest of the game, you are top down this sombrero. Like, let me show you what I mean. Like in this image right here, this is you. These are the people you murdered. And so like, it's kind of fun because you just see hats and guns for a lot of the time. And so like hats and guns, and then you killing all of the other hats with your gun, or in this case a bow and arrow. There are other weapons like this one. He just obliterated everybody with this freaking cannon. So yeah, there's a lot to do in this game, and it's got a really nice old west vibe, but like also beautiful hand-drawn art style, and plenty of blood and guts if you're like, ooh, I want Hotline Miami vibes, but on the cheap because it's only 99 cents. It's a really fun game. 3D RPG, this is one of the ones where I'm going to tell you to temper your expectations, because yes, this is a 3D Bloxel based RPG. So you're looking at it and you thinking, oh, it's like Minecraft, but an RPG. Temper your expectations. It is a 3D world. It does really look like this. This is, you know, actual gameplay and whatnot. And you get to go around and, you know, murder animals for food. And also murder monsters for experience points and loot. And yeah, there's, you know, crafting, there's looting, there's exploration, you know, there's a little bit of a story. It's not an amazing story, and it's not the most mind-blowing RPG that you've ever seen, but there are, like, you know, turn-based combat and, like, you know, quick time moves within the turn-based combat and stuff. So it's a, you know, it is an interesting little game, but it's not the most amazing RPG that you're ever going to play in your life. But it is fun though. You just can't expect too much of it, is all that I'm saying, because you are getting this game for 49 cents, and it is punching way above that weight. But not so far. This is not going to be like, you know, the Final Fantasy VII of Bloxel based RPGs. I don't know how many other Bloxel based RPGs there are out there in the world, but yeah, this is, you know, oh yeah, it's procedurally generated, so every playthrough is different. So and the procedural generation makes it so that, like, is kind of, you know, it doesn't feel as designed as a really, really great RPG, but it's still fun. It's still a good time. And for 49 cents, you can't do wrong. 8-Bit Boy. 8-Bit Boy is a love letter to classic platformy type games. You know, there's obvious Mario influences. I swear there's some Gianna sisters in here a little bit. You know, with the bird enemies and whatnot. But yeah, you know, this game brings some of that classic, you know, platforming gameplay, but also it has some little elements of its own that it throws into the pot. And it's fun. It's a fun game, and you can get this game for under $1. How much under $1? It's 69 cents, the most hilarious number of cents that you could possibly pay for a game. Yeah, because, you know, 42,069 cents is it's a lot to pay. So 69 cents, much better. Anyway, 8-Bit Boy, it's a fun little game, and it's nice and cheap. Barro, this is not just a suggestion that you get Barro, because Barro is a nice little racing game, but it's an entire world of racing games. And these, they look like the little penny racers. You remember penny racers, where you put the penny in the back to, you know, back weight the car. And I don't know why we did that, but it was a thing that we did. And then you pull them back and they go. Yeah, this game feels like that. It's actually like, you know, really decent controls and like interesting tracks and stuff, and it's like a decent amount of racing game for a very nice low price. These games are not that expensive to begin with. 39 cents. You can buy the entire collection for $5.25. Yeah, that's really like, that's a good steal. But the Barro collection, look at how many Barro games there are. Barro 2020, Barro F, Barro Racing, Barro 22, Barro F22, Barro GT, and Barro T23. You can get all of that for $2.96. Like, just 39 cents, buy one of the Barro games and then see if you don't pick up some others, because I definitely have picked up some others after trying this first one, and I tried it at the suggestion of one of my viewers. And they were right. They were right about that. Beep. This game is so far under $1 now. When I bought it, it was like very cheap. It is now free. You can play this one for free. This is exactly what I'm talking about when I talk about, like, you know, small development team kind of feel, where you look at it and it looks kind of, you know, not made by a whole bunch of people with a massive budget. But I'll tell you what, this is an awesome little puzzle platformer type of game where you're this little robot. You've got this sort of gravity gun thing, and you've got an actual gun, and you got to make your way through this world and figure out how to get from point A to point B. It's always a little puzzly. And look, I don't really like puzzle games that much, but I like Beep because there's some really interesting puzzles, and there's a whole bunch of them. And so, yeah, if you are the sort of person like, because I love the collectathon aspect of this game, where there's always a way to get every little gem and to get, you know, every collectible in the level. There's always a way through, but it gets pretty difficult the later you go in the game. And there's, you know, there's lore, there's music, there's like, it's a whole vibe. And it's a really good game that used to cost money. I don't know why it doesn't cost money anymore. Maybe the developer is like, nah, we made our money on this. But like, it's a really good game and really fun and highly recommended. And you can get it for so much less than $1. It doesn't even cost you money to get this game. That's how much less than $1 it is. Like, that game was going to be on this list regardless, but now that it's free, there's like no reason to not get it. This next one. Now, every Steam sale, I will do this thing where I will go shopping for games under $1. It's budget stravaganza, budget palooza. I've called it different things over the years. Anyway, but yeah, I just buy a whole bunch of extremely cheap games and then see if there are any gems among them. And this one, man, this one surprised so much because, yeah, everything you need to know about this game is in the title. Boneless Zombie. Like, yeah, there is a story. And the story is that you are a regular dude with a girlfriend who, like, you get taken by this crazy evil doctor. Just look at this gameplay. Like, it's all physics based, making your way through the world as a boneless zombie who can grapple with either your feet or your hands. But like, yeah, it gets pretty random and chaotic at times, and could be really, really fun to find your way through the levels and figure out how to get the collectibles and figure out how to make your way through, because ultimately you're trying to de-zombify yourself and make it back to your girlfriend and whatnot. And yeah, sometimes the things that happen in this game are so hilarious and random because of the physics and because you're just this floppy boneless zombie, and it is 74 cents. I don't know what this mixed reviews is all about. Like, this game is really fun. I've had a lot of fun with it, and yeah, you're just boneless zombieing your way through the world for 74 cents. Who's complaining about that? I'd like to know, because I really enjoyed this game. Okay, next up, we have 2 games that are super cheap and that you should definitely get. Remember back when I told you that anything made by Zeboyd is just pure gold? Well, I wasn't lying about that. Like, because this game, this is Breath of Death 7. You look at it, it looks like, you know, old school Final Fantasy or maybe old school Dragon Warrior, something akin to that. Yeah, it does look and feel like that, except for, here's the funny thing about it. The guys who made this game are so keyed in to the tropes of old school RPGs that they completely mess with the formula and have fun with it in really inventive and creative ways that just is delightful. Like, when I played these games for the first time, I was like, oh, these guys know what's up. These guys definitely know what's up. And it is so much fun. Breath of Death 7, the beginning, like, come on. And you get this with Cthulhu Saves the World, which wait, hold up. Did it say that this is similar to Octopath Traveler 2? Sure, it definitely is. But like, let's go to the other game, Cthulhu Saves the World, because this one is it's exactly what it sounds like. Become a hero to break the curse, defeat evil and regain your powers. Yeah, things to do today. Destroy the world? Nope. Save the world. Yeah, so you play as Cthulhu, who through some magical trickery, you lose all of your evil powers, and then you have to go through this whole journey to regain them. And in so doing, you have to save the world, even though you're Cthulhu and all you want to do is destroy the world. So yeah, it's hilarious, and it takes all of those. It does the same thing as Breath of Death 7. It takes all of those classic tropes and it just turns them on their head and in hilarious ways. And so the more you have played old school RPGs, the more fun you're going to have with these two games. And 89 cents for both of these games, that is a steal. I love both of these games. I think they're great. Cannot recommend them enough, especially if you are a fan of old school RPGs. If you played like Final Fantasy 1 through 4, if you played, you know, the Dragon Warrior games on the NES, like, this is for you, and it's gonna make you laugh out loud so many times. But also, it's a really good, well-designed RPG. They didn't use any of the like RPG Maker tools or anything. They built their own engine for these games, and it's really, really great. Like, they did an amazing job with it. Carnal is another one for you old school gamers, because you look at this and you automatically know what it is. You're like, oh, this is like, you know, one of those games that's built on the Doom engine. Yeah, it kind of is, except for it's a modern game, and so it has some things that you couldn't have in the old school Doom games, but it plays very, very similar to old school Doom and Duke Nukem 3D and all those games that, you know, Rise of the Triad. What else do you want? You know, all those old school games that we just loved, all those crazy shooters. Well, this one is so over the top and ridiculous in a lot of ways, because it has the benefit of being, you know, a modern game, but built on this old concept, and it does it so well. It's a lot of fun. I believe there are sequels to this game as well, but yeah, Carnal, the second year. Okay. Yeah, 49 cents for Carnal. It's a really, really fun game, and a nice thing to add to your collection if you like those old school shooters. Caveblazers has no business being in this category, because I have argued so many times this is a roguelike, and it, you know, it has Spelunky type vibes, because of course it does, but it's so much fun. It's really well designed. There are a lot of unlockables, and there's a lot, like, you know, there's just a lot of different enemy types, a lot of different weapons, a lot of different power-ups, and it's, you know, a big, interesting underground world that you know, you get to build up your character, and of course, you know, you get different clothes as unlockables. He just, you know, rocking the diaper as far as I know right now, but like, yeah, there's boss battles, there's like, it gets pretty intense, and it's really, really fun. And in the very beginning, there's an old dude who's like, you're just gonna die like the rest of them. And then you do again and again and again. But you do, this is roguelite, and so you do get to keep some of your progress. Some things are permanent effects, and some things are, you know, just for this particular playthrough. And so it does help balance itself out. It's not too light on the roguelite elements, but just enough that it makes it so that if you're having a hard time, you do get a little extra help based on what you have done in previous levels. Anyway, I think this game is great. I think this game deserves way more love than it gets from the roguelike community. Not enough people know this game. Not enough people love this game. I think it's amazing. And I own it on multiple platforms because I think it's a great game and because I really enjoy it. And so, yeah, for 99 cents, this is a really, really legitimately good game. That's not just like, oh, this was someone's, senior project in game design class. This is an actual legitimate game that was put out by an actual developer who was trying to compete with the Spelunkies of the world. And I would say it competes with the Spelunkies of the world pretty darn well. But not enough people know it and love it. And I don't know what that's all about. But Caveblazers, that's a steal. Chimpology. I might be the only person who loves this game and thinks it's hilarious, but I love this game and I think it's hilarious. So if you remember the old days of the internet and having to load pictures, line by line, bit by bit, this game is based off of that. Is based off of two ideas. Number one, that if you have the infinite number of if you have the infinite number of monkeys and an infinite number of typewriters, then you get Shakespeare. Well, this is, if you have one monkey with a 0 and a 1, there are only two keys in this game, 0 and 1. Super simple controls. Easy to learn, difficult to master, and your thing, is to, deliver web traffic bit by bit. That's literally it. Zeros and ones. You're typing the zeros and ones to give people the pictures that they are downloading on the old school internet. And sorry. Oh my goodness. But yeah, like, it is really, really fun. You can play multiplayer, which is crazy. But yeah, like, it's a really funny game. And if you remember the old school internet, like, it just brings back some vibes. I think it's hilarious and awesome. It is 49 cents. If you remember the old school days of internet, then you might get a kick out of this. Defunct. Defunct is a really interesting racing game. At first, you don't know what to make of this game. At first, like, you're a robot who gets left by your spaceship on this planet, and you're kind of racing around, trying to make your way back. And it's all based on, like, basically what you've got is this mechanic where you as this little robot, when you click the mouse button, I think is the control, or you could play with controller and it's just like one button, but when you hold it down, you sort of get pulled into the ground by gravity, and so you gotta decide when to do that in strategic ways on downhills to pick up speed so that you can, fly over the uphills and do crazy jumps and whatnot. And there are wall rides and grinds and rails and all kinds of crazy stuff and really interesting environments that you get to race through. And the sense of speed in this game is excellent, and it looks like really nice. Like, it has really good graphics for a game in this price point. and it's really fun. It's a really fun game. 99 cents for Defunct. And yeah, it's like a really surprisingly good racing game. Deus Ex Game of the Year Edition. If you don't know Deus Ex, if you have never played Deus Ex, you are missing out, my friend. Really? You're gonna give me screenshots this small? Okay, here's the deal on Deus Ex. You are a you're like a cyborg. You're like a cybernetically enhanced human. And you are interacting in this world of espionage and multiple factions trying to control the world, this futuristic cyberpunk world. And every level you have options and choices. You can stealth your way through, you can guns blaze your way through, sometimes you can negotiate your way through. There's a lot of decisions that you get to make, and your decisions have actual consequences in game, in ways that we had never seen up until this point in a game. And so it's kind of first person shootery, but it's also, there's mystery and there's puzzle solving and there's stealth and there's you have to be really selective with your dialogue choices and whatnot. Like, there's a lot to this game. There's a reason why it came out in 2000, and here we are 23 years later still talking about this game and how great it is, because it really is one of the definitive gaming experiences. It's like, if we had a list of games that you need to play before you die, this is on the list 100%. You got your Super Mario 3, you got your Castlevania Symphony of the Night, you've got your Super Metroid. What else do you need on the list of games that everybody needs to play? Deus Ex is on that list. It's on that list. Like, just trust that it's on that list. If you've never heard of it, if you've never played it, just know, like, ask around, find old gamers and ask them what they think of this game, and you will be regaled with people talking about, like, oh my god, I made this choice and then I regretted it for the rest of my playthrough, and so I went back and I played through the entire thing again just so I could, like, redo some of the choices that I made that I didn't know the consequences they would have. It's one of those. It's like, before Mass Effect 2, which is quite possibly the greatest video game ever made, there was Deus Ex, and it's 97 cents right now. So yeah, this is a no-brainer. It's one of the greatest games ever made, and it's super cheap. So yes. Devious Dungeon. I had Devious Dungeon 2 on a separate list. This is the original Mamma Jamma. It is an action roguelike, roguelite, because you do keep some of that character progression. It's very satisfying. That's just the thing, that was my main takeaway from these games, is that they're very satisfying. The gameplay is tight, and getting that loot feels exactly how it's supposed to feel. And so as you make your way through this world and you turn everyone into coins, Scott Pilgrim style, it feels good to do it. And it's super fun, keeps you engaged, lots of different enemies, lots of power-ups, lots of unlockables. And the fact that it's procedurally generated means that no two playthroughs are exactly the same, and that makes it super fun. Devious Dungeon, the first one and the second one, both really great games, both really cheap right now. This one's just 99 cents. Wait. Oh, yeah, there's Random Heroes bundle. I wonder what it's, yeah. Wonder what it is when you don't have all but one of the items in your library already. But like, yeah, it's a really good game, and it's 99 cents right now. So if you're looking for that action roguelike fun, first of all, Caveblazers, absolutely. Second of all, Devious Dungeon. Diggerman. Now, I don't know whether or not Diggerman was released as a mobile game. It has a mobile game vibe, but not in a bad way. It's not like, you know, microtransaction hell or anything. But as you look at this, you could tell that, like, oh, that looks like old school Boulder Dash. And it is a lot like old school Boulder Dash. You know, it's got this story a little bit, like just enough to, you know, give you something to work toward. And there's a lot of unlockables. There's a lot of, you know, that's why it kind of has that mobile game feel, but it feels like it harkens back to the days of mobile gaming before microtransaction hell. And I like that. I absolutely like that. And so, like, if you like Boulder Dash style action, this is a really fun game, and you've got to balance, you know, your power levels. So you got to pick up batteries to, you know, power your headlamp so that you can see where you're going and know what you're doing. Otherwise, you're going to die. And then you trying to pick up them coins and whatnot and get all the loot. And there's really interesting NPCs and stuff. And, you know, you hit them checkpoints, and it's so satisfying to hit a checkpoint. When you have come up short on a checkpoint before, when you finally press through that area and make it to the next one, oh, very satisfying. It's a really fun game. It is 49 cents. So I highly recommend the Diggerman. Okay, what do we have next? Oh, Ding Dong. Okay, Ding Dong XL. This is... I love what Atom Vision is doing with games, because they have this idea of, like, you know, remember back when video games only required one button to play the entire game, you know, like, because if you played Atari stuff, it was a joystick with one button. And if you had one of those fancy controllers, you know, that had the two buttons, yeah, both buttons do the same thing. It's just, do you want to press it down on the base, or do you want to press it up at the top? That's it. And so, like, if you got like a TAC2, one of those awesome controllers from back in the day, it's just one button. And so this game is literally just back and forth, back and forth. That's it. Avoiding obstacles, making your way, getting collectibles, power-ups, whatnot, but just back and forth. And you wouldn't think it'd be that fun, but then you play it once and you're like, oh, I think I'd do better next time. And then you go and you do better next time. And then you're like, oh, I think I can do even better. And it's a very, very satisfying game to play. And so, yeah, for how simple it is, look at this, very positive, overwhelmingly positive. Like, people really enjoy this game because it's really fun, but it's the simplest gameplay ever. But you know what? Gameplay wins always. That's what we know about these super budget games, is if the gameplay is good, then the game is good. And it doesn't matter how simple the graphics are. It doesn't matter how simple the concept of the game is. If the gameplay is good, the game is good. And the game is good here because the gameplay is good. It's 48 cents on the Ding Dong XL. Let's see, what else do we have? Okay, Downwell. Yeah, Downwell is a legit game. Like, this has been ported to a whole bunch of different consoles and systems and whatnot. It's literally exactly what the game says. You're falling down a well and you got gun shoes and you're killing enemies and, you know, selectively falling in different ways in order to, you know, get power-ups and get loot and whatnot as you're going through the level and trying to get that high score. So it's got a really nice old school vibe, but it's also like, obviously you could not have done this on old school hardware. It's one of those, and I love that. I love games that bring that old school vibe, but then have a lot of, you know, gameplay things that you just could not do on the old hardware. And I love it. Downwell is a quality game, and very fun. See, overwhelmingly positive with almost 7,000 reviews, and it is 98 cents. You know what? Like, yeah, a lot of these games in here, Minute, Return of Obra Dinn, yeah, these are some also beloved games. I don't know how much they're going for right now, but this whole thing is $20. Look at how many of my friends have this, and they've all loved it. So yeah, it's a really, really good game, and it's super cheap right now. Dungeon Siege 1 and 2. These are legit RPGs, made by Gas Powered Games, published by Square Enix, and they were made to compete with Diablo, and they kind of did for a bit. The third one in the series is not well loved, but 1 and 2 are absolutely loved. I have put, yeah, look at this, 106.4 hours on record that I have played into this game, because I open every treasure chest, I kill every monster, I level myself up as much as possible. I don't mess around. Like, I do everything that there is to do in this game. So I put 100 hours into it, absolutely loved it, and it's 97 cents. You can get the whole Dungeon Siege collection for $3. That's amazing, you know. So also the Dungeon Siege 2, which I don't think I've played on my Steam account, but I have the actual discs for this game from back in the day when I played it on, you know, like Windows XP and whatnot. So yes, it is an old school RPG. The graphics are a little old schooly, but man, this blew our minds back in the day. Absolutely. It's a great Diablo clone kind of a game. I mean, at the time they were hoping that you would be like, no, Dungeon Siege is the real one and Diablo's the clone. Obviously Diablo is the granddaddy of them all, but 97 cents for the Dungeon Siege 2. I suggest picking up both of them because they're both really, really good. Okay, Fishing Adventure. This is one of, yeah, I put 52 hours into this game because it's a really satisfying fishing simulator. You know, it's got like graphics and whatnot. And the other thing it has is it's got like multiplayer in the sense that you can join these tournaments that are going off, you know, all the time. And, you know, then you're fishing against other people and trying to, you know, depending on what it is, like total weight of fish caught, biggest single fish, you know, there are different tournament modes that you can play, and it's really fun. And there's a ton of upgrades. Every fish you catch, you can choose between, you know, upping your XP or cashing it in for money, which you can then use to buy gear. And man, like, it is so much fun and so satisfying. It's a really, really great fishing game. And guess what? It's 49 cents. It's one of the best 49 cents I have ever spent. If you like fishing, and you might or might not, I don't know, but it's great. Okay, Glorkian Warrior, The Trials of Glork. This game, though, this game is a vibe. Like, okay, obviously it's old school shooter, you know, it's your Galaga, it's your Demon Attack, it's, those kind of shooters, but it's got like this hilarious sense of humor, where like every now and again, like this giant alien head shows up and is like, I'm changing everything. Now it's just basketballs bouncing everywhere or whatever. And then there are these alien twins, twin sister aliens who show up and give you different like objectives to complete. And then if you complete them, you get a prize and stuff. See, there's the giant robot head. Yeah. Anyway, it is a constantly changing game that keeps it fresh and keeps it from feeling like, oh, I'm just going to play Galaga for the 90,000th time, which, by the way, it's all about Galaxian. That's what I came up on, pre-Galaga. Anyway, but that's just me personally. But yeah, it does a ton of things to keep that from feeling stale. And there are comics and, like this is actual, oh yeah, it can turn into Tetris pieces all of a sudden for no reason. The sense of humor on this game is exactly on point. This is a really, really, really fun shooter at any price point, but it is currently 59 cents. So I highly recommend Glorkian Warrior, The Trials of Glork. I love this game. Okay, moving onward and upward. Grab Lab. Grab Lab. It gives me the rah-rah Rasputin vibes on the artwork. It just does. Yeah, this is made by the same people who made Diggerman. But yeah, basically what it is you have a grappling hook and you got to make your way through these increasingly complex puzzly levels. There are a ton of character unlocks. There's a ton to do. The levels get really hard over time. And there are so many different characters that do so many different things. And this game, like the physics just keep getting more and more and more complex as you go along. It's very satisfying to figure out levels. It's such a good, platformy puzzle game that you'd hardly notice that it's a puzzle type game. Because I don't love puzzles in video games. I know a lot of people, that's their vibe. My wife, she loves the puzzle type games. For me, I'm always looking to skip the puzzles, but this is one where it feels right. And it's 49 cents for the Grab Lab. Wait, what are we doing over here? Okay, Half-Life, because you should have a copy of Half-Life. If you get the orange box, then you'll get a copy of Half-Life. Yeah. There are bundles that you can get it with, but you should have the original Half-Life in your collection because it's such a watershed game, such an important game, but it's also it's still an experience. It's still amazing to play. And so and some of these things have been memed to death, but that's because of their impact on gaming. Gordon, Just the way that the characters, the other NPCs in the game interact with Gordon Freeman, the main character, is hilarious. Like, this game has aged both well and terribly in places, and it makes it just a delight to play now. I love this game, and it's currently 99 cents. You can get, I believe you get this when you get the orange box. If you don't, you can buy this separately, but I highly recommend that you have a copy of Half-Life just because it's such an amazing game. Iron Fisticle. Iron Fisticle is the little brother to Iron Crypticle. It is this twin sticky gauntlet type arena deal where basically what happens is you go through these series of arena type rooms where just massive onslaughts of, let me go back to that real quick. Go back to the map screen. Show me that map screen. Where was that map screen? Hold up. We've taken it back a little bit. Boom. Okay, there it is. Okay, you get to decide, this is the boss battle over here. You get to decide how many of these rooms you hit on your way to the boss. And there are a lot of different power-ups that you can pick up. Somewhere in here, I think there are 2 shops per floor. And there are different things that you can get in the shops. And so you don't know when you go out one of these exits, which you can only go out once you've killed all the enemies on the level. And there's a ton of different weapon power-ups and stuff. And some of the power-ups, it's very roguelite, because some of the power-ups are permanent to your character and some of them are very temporary. But as you go through, you get to decide how you progress to this boss. And then once you beat the boss, then you can go to the next floor and do the whole thing over again, but with, you know, different enemies, different power-ups, different unlockables, and it gets very Robotron-esque frantic. And then you got your, you know, your superpower, your Iron Fisticle that you level up and then use when you saw him turn blue and kill a whole bunch of zombies at once. That's what that was. And also you can play this cooperatively. The bosses are crazy. The levels get super frantically big. That it has those little spawners. It's very, like, it feels a lot like Gauntlet if Gauntlet were a twin stick shooter. And it's super much fun to play. 89 cents for the Iron Fisticle. I recommend that you own either Iron Fisticle or Iron Crypticle, one of the two. But yeah, if you only want the Iron Fisticle, which is, you know, it doesn't have as many things in it as Iron Crypticle, arguably, like, it's slightly less than, because I think Iron Crypticle has 4-player co-op. Iron Fisticle only has 2-player. And there are, you know, weapons and power-ups and things in Iron Crypticle that Iron Fisticle doesn't have. But it's still a very satisfying, very fun game experience. I believe this one came first and then Crypticle came afterward as an improvement upon the original formula. Just Cause. I've been putting all of the Just Cause games into my suggestions because all of these games are so much fun. They are, because, you know, when Grand Theft Auto came out, Grand Theft Auto 3 is the one that really ignited everyone, and just people's imaginations were ignited on the idea of this open world sandboxy type game where you can kind of do whatever you want to do, and play the missions, you know, or ignore the missions and just go, you know, murder a whole bunch of people and steal a bunch of cars and, you know, go crazy. Yeah. Well, Just Cause, you are like secret agent helping to overthrow the government of this like South or Central American nation, which is, you know, very much like what the United States actually did for years and years and years, from like the 1950s to the 1990s. We were just overthrowing governments in South and Central America to try and stave off communism. Anyway, so it's got some of those vibes. But the fun thing about the Just Cause games is they were like, okay, what if it's Grand Theft Auto, but like all the stupid stunts and stuff that you see in those, like, you know, Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon action movies that play on cable, that you're like, oh my God, this is a ridiculous, that the physics of that do not check out at all. Like, you can actually do all of those things in this game. And it's just nuts. It's goofy bananas. The types of action movie stunts that you can pull. You can be flying a plane and then jump out of the plane and grab onto the tail of the plane and just hang on to the tail of an airplane that is currently flying, and then decide, do I let go and parachute to the ground, or do I jump from the tail of the plane back into the cockpit and just fly it away like nothing happened? You know, like, your choice. What do you want to do? Or you've got that grappling gun that you can grapple onto just about anything, and it lets you parasail off of any vehicle. It's amazing. So there's a ton of stuff that you can do in this game. The only thing about the original Just Cause is that the graphics are a little more, you know, Grand Theft Auto 3-ish. The graphics do get better as the games go on. Just Cause 2 has better graphics than Just Cause 1. Just Cause 3 has really good graphics. I haven't played Just Cause 4 yet because they're still charging full price for that. These games get very cheap over time, and I love them. Anyway, 97 cents for Just Cause, I think is great. I think you get a whole lot of game in this. Yeah, 51 hours. I played the whole first-person campaign. That's about how much game you get for under $1. MagiCat. MagiCat is a really good, really fun, old school platformer. So basically, you are this magical cat, and you know, you possess magical abilities, and you get to do some increasingly difficult platforming with interesting level designs and really, you know, fun gameplay mechanics that you know, keep it feeling fresh and interesting. It's really, really well done, and it's a whole lot of game. It's just, you know, in so many ways it feels like people have kind of, you know, let go of the concept of platforming, and so all of a sudden platformers feel like, oh, it's like some budget game because it's a platformer. It's a 2D platformer. What even is this? Yeah, it's a really good game is what it is. If this came out like on the Super Nintendo or whatever, like, we would be remembering this fondly and being like, oh my God, do you remember MagiCat? That game was awesome. Anyway, it is 99 cents. You can get a demo if you don't think that you would enjoy it, or if you're confused about what it even is. You could be like, well, let's play the demo and find out. But I'm telling you, it's super fun. Montaro and Montaro RE. These games are super casual. They're, you know, auto runner casual. You're this little dog, and you make your way through this world, and you make a lot of enemies of birds who are out to kill you. You collect all these coins, and the coins help you to buy different outfits. And so there's a ton of different skins and whatnot. But here's the ridiculous thing about this game is what you're actually doing is stealing girls' pantsu like he did just there. You're stealing girls' underpants as a little cute dog. I don't know why. The soundtrack to this game is awesome. It is really, really satisfyingly good. And is 59 cents for Montaro. There is also Montaro RE or RE Montaro, Montaro. I swear to God, it shows up as, yeah, Montaro RE, but it says Montaro here. Yeah, this is a kind of a remake of the original game that has different levels that you can jump up to, because you know the first one you're either on the ground or you're up on ledges, but this one has like 3 levels of ledges and stuff that you can get up onto as you are making your way through the world and stealing girls' underpants as a cute little doggy. You know how cute little doggies always be stealing girls' underpants as they're trying to make their way to school or whatever. But yeah, it's super casual, super fun, great soundtrack, very satisfying to get those collectibles, very replayable. It's great pick 'em up, put 'em down type of game. But it's also completely stupid and ridiculous, and that's what makes it fun. 59 cents. If you only get one of these, I suggest the Montaro RE, because it's there's a little more to it. There are more unlockables, there's more levels, but both games are really fun. Mutant Muds. This game has been ported to everything, and it's really, really, really good. Now, granted, here's the thing about Mutant Muds. It's, you know, old school platform shooter, but like when you play this on the 3DS, the whole 3D effect of jumping from foreground to background and back again, it looks super awesome in 3D, but there's only one console that it's been ported to that has that, and that's the 3DS. So if you want to play this and not play it on the 3DS, which, you know, yeah, you can't, like the 3DS store went down, right? I'm not wrong about that, right? I think I remember reading that the 3DS store went down. And so like if you want to play this game, you know, the whole foreground background shift is still very impressive, even if you don't have the 3D effect. It's still a fun, you know, trippy concept. And also there are secret levels in every level that take you into this same game, but in the art style of another like classic console or another classic game style. Yeah. So you get this foreground, background jumping in the scene, and it's super satisfying and super interesting. Yeah, very, very fun game. Look at this. Yeah, it was on the Wii U, the PS3, the PS Vita, and Steam. But also it was on the 3DS. I know it was because that's where I played it first. And it was really good on the 3DS. It's really good on everything. It is only 99 cents. It is one of the best platformers to come out, you know, over the last 10, 15 years. When did this come out? When did you come out, Mutant Muds? Yeah, came out 10 years ago. And it's, you know, literally one of the best of the last decade. Come on, let's get to the right one. Okay, Orbt XL. This is another one of those, you know, single button type of games. Atom Vision Studios, same people that made Ding Dong XL, made this one. Now, what you're doing is you are a planet orbiting this growing black hole situation as other planets are being sucked into it. Your job is to orbit as close to this black hole as possible, because the closer the ring that you orbit in, the more points you get for that orbit. And then, you know, the narrower the escape that you make from the other planets, the better off it is. And then you're trying not to get sucked in. It's a very simple game concept. It's the kind of thing that could have worked on the Atari 2600, which is the entire concept of these Atom Vision games, is like, let's build something that could have worked on the Atari 2600, but let's use the modern graphical and gameplay capabilities to do that. And it's a really satisfying game. It's 48 cents. Yeah, they do have the Arcade Score Chaser bundle for $3.11. I have not played all of these games, but Bing Bong, is that similar to Ding Dong? It's just horizontal? Anyway, regardless, they have all these really interesting games that could have been made for the Atari 2600, but weren't. You know, they made them in the here and now. Look at how overwhelmingly positively this game has been reviewed. Simple concepts with great gameplay. That's what it's all about. 48 cents, you get yourself an interesting little game that is very fun, very replayable. Over 9,000 Zombies tells you everything you need to know about what this game is. It's over 9,000 zombies. So basically, you're facing down wave after wave after wave of zombies, and then in between the waves, you can power your dude up, you know, go collect the guns and ammo that you need for the next level, set up turrets and walls and other things, you know, because you need to build up barricades and stuff to make sure that you don't get completely overrun. But yeah, this game gets crazy frantic as you're facing down wave after wave of not just zombies, but all kinds of different things. And yeah, you kind of build things up and decide how you want to defend the area that you have to defend, but you have a limited amount of time between waves. I have played this cooperatively. It does have online cooperative play. I've played it with one of my viewers once because he was like, hey, we both have this game. Do you want to play it sometime? And I was like, sure, let's play. And then he sent me a game invite and was like, let's play it. We played it and it was really fun. And he was much better at it than I was. I think I severely disappointed him as a gamer to gamer, that he was like, why aren't you better at this? You have a YouTube channel. Like, why aren't you a better gamer? I'm sorry. Anyway, it is 49 cents. You can get a 2-pack for 74 cents and play it with your homie. It is really fun, and it's fun that there is online play. Portal and Portal 2. Do I even need to say it? First of all, you can get these in the orange box, which you can get the orange box for $2. So you should just get the orange box for $2. But like, this game has been memed to death because we all played it. Like, we all just played it at the same time, and everybody was like, now you're thinking with portals. And so it's, you know, it's a very simple concept, but the levels get increasingly ridiculous over time. And so, yeah, you're just making your way through the world with your portal gun. And there's kind of a story in this first one, but the first Portal was kind of a tech demo that people were like, oh, that should be a whole game. It's 99 cents. but also the Portal 2 is like a fully realized game, like a full-on game that uses this whole concept. And yeah, it's one of the best puzzle platformer games ever made, ever in the history of ever. And even if you don't like puzzle platformers, the game is amazing. It just is. And you're gonna be blown away by it, because if you have not played it before, and even if you have, like, sometimes you forget like how incredibly amazing these games were. And the story is great. And yeah, it's really, oh, look at that gameplay. That's ridiculous. Yeah. You know, figuring out how to do it and where to go, because Portal 2 takes place in a sort of like Portal 1 has fallen apart and things have gone disastrously wrong, which, you know, things in Portal 1 weren't great to begin with, but like when it's when it's Portal 2, everything is kind of falling apart, and it's kind of, you know, you're making your way through this broken Portal world. And so it's very, very satisfying. It's a great game. And 39 cents. Oh, that's the final hours. Yeah, bonus chapter. Get it. Get all the things. Get the orange box. Get Portal 2. Get all the things. These games are amazing. There's a reason why everybody was memeing them. It's because everybody was playing them and everybody was loving them. Prison Chainball Massacre is exactly what it sounds like. I love these kind of games where it's just stupid fun. It's really, really dumb, stupid fun. See, look, it's top down. You're a prisoner. You have a chain ball attached to you, and then you just swing it around and kill guards and try to make your escape. Except for you ain't making your escape. Eventually, they're gonna get you. It's just like a giant arena shooter, except for you can't shoot. All you can do is swing this ball around. And so it's a hilarious physics-based game, and there's so many unlockables, and it is so much fun. I love this game. My daughter saw me playing this game, and she was like, "Can I have that game?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's 79 cents. I think I can afford getting you Prison Chainball Massacre for how much fun it is." And only 9 people have reviewed this. Am I one of them? Did I review it? Am I a reviewer of this game? Boom. There I am. Yep, I totally recommended it because it's so fun. It's so fun. This is what I'm looking for when I go shopping for my budget games. I'm looking for this. Dumb fun. Can I have dumb fun in a video game for, you know, under $1, for under 50 cents? You sure can. You sure can. Project Snaqe, subterraneous navigation articulated quarrying excavator. This is Snaqe. This is Snaqe, like you used to play on your Nokia phone, except for it's got like extra bonus bits. Like, yes, it is still the same like Snaqe that you remember, and as you mine, your little car thing gets longer and longer, but also like there's enemies roaming around and you can't let them get you, and you also can't run into yourself, and also you really need to you know, keep mining your way through the level. It gets increasingly complex as you go along, and yeah, the levels get bigger and bigger and bigger, and it just gets incredibly silly and ridiculous how big the game can get. Starts you off simple, and eventually you're like, oh my god, there's so much Snaqe. And that is literally how it goes. So yeah, Project Snaqe, it's like Snake that you used to play on your phone, plus a little bit extra. It is 49 cents. And did I review this one? There are only 7 reviews. Boom, there I am. See, love these games that are underloved, that are, you know, a stupid amount of fun for, you know, well under $1. I love it. That's what I live for in my budget gaming. Okay. Q-Yo Blaster. This one is, if we can get to it, it is a Q-'em-up in the style of, you know, if you've seen the Cotton games and all of that, this is a Q-'em-up that is, you know, approaching that type of gameplay that's trying to be like that. It succeeds, generally speaking. I mean, people who are, you know, super big Cotton fans are going to be like, well, it isn't exactly blah, 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 blah. But like, it's still really fun. It's a really good Q-'em-up. And yeah, some people hate that term, Q-'em-up, but like, it's a real thing. Shoot 'em ups that are made to be cute. And there's like, you know, Cuphead type elements in here and Cotton type elements in here. The bosses are ridiculous and over the top. It's a lot of fun. It's a really fun shooter for 99 cents. So you can't go wrong with Q-Yo Blaster. Making our way, Refunct. Yeah, Refunct is a casual parkour game. Casual parkour, is that even possible? Oh, it is, and it do. Basically, your job is to make your way through these levels and jump on the top of every column or square or rectangle, every, you know, regular polygon that you come across. You have to step on it and turn it green. And there's a ton of different ways to make your way through the levels. And it's super casual, super relaxing. It doesn't like force you and say like, oh, you gotta make it through. You gotta. No, this game is super chill and super nice. It gives you the time that you need to figure your way through. It's all doable, and it's also very satisfying when you make your way through a level and get everything green. It's 74 cents. So a really fun game. Very casual, nice pick it up, put it down kind of a thing. Shotgun Legend. Now this game is not perfect, but it's a really good idea. The idea is, what if the original Legend of Zelda had guns and you were able to just shoot everybody? That's the concept. And so, is it perfect? Does it pull off everything exactly right? Is it as good as the original Legend of Zelda? No, it's not. It's not a perfect game, but it's a really good concept that someone just would, yeah, Jonathan Tyndall was like, I wonder what Zelda would be like with shotguns. And then he did it, and it's totally playable, really fun. Is it better than Zelda? No. Is it as good as Zelda? No. But is it as good as a game that costs 28 cents could possibly be? Yes. It's really fun. It's really legitimately fun. You're not going to be telling people like, oh my god, it's so much better than Zelda. But what you are going to say is, oh, I played Shotgun Legend and that game is fun. It is. It's fun, you know. So what more do you need to know at that price point? Okay, this one, I don't know why it gets mixed reviews. Because this is from THQ Nordic, who makes a lot of amazing games. They've had a lot of really great games on a lot of my lists. This is a very intense side-scrolling shooter, and it's hard. It's a hard game. Make no mistake, this is difficult. And people have feelings about this game, and shooter fans have some bones to pick with it about, you know, how it does or does not keep to the acceptable tropes of side-scrolling and bullet hell type gaming. Yeah, if you want to get bogged down in particulars of like, oh, well, does it mean like, you know, the genre is supposed to be blah, 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 blah. Like, okay, all right, nerd. But is it fun? Like, yes, you can have a whole lot of fun with this game, but it's also insanely difficult. Do not forget, it's insanely difficult. I think that bothers people a lot, because you're going to find yourself just dying a lot. But, you know, the key to these kind of games is learning the level, finding out how the level works, and then making it happen. And so, yeah, oh, it's not just an airship, it's an underwater ship as well. It's got levels to this thing, but it's crazy hard. Don't think it's not crazy hard. 99 cents. I think it's a really good game. There are people who would say otherwise, but you know what? Like, at this price point, that's a really good shooter. Steamworld Dig. Can you believe that this game is only 99 cents right now? Because the Steamworld games, like, so well done. Absolutely well done. They take that, let's get into the gameplay, you know, because they take that classic Boulder Dash style of game, but also add like RPG type elements where, you know, you're building your character up and there's a lot of NPCs to talk to and there's a whole story of what's going on. Yeah, Steamworld is a really, really good idea. It's executed so well. And for 99 cents, are you kidding me? This is like, this is, as far as indie games go, like the Steamworld games always make lists of like, oh, you want to talk indie games that are great. What about Steamworld Dig? You know, all of the Steamworld games are absolutely worth playing. Steamworld Dig is awesome. Steamworld Dig 2 is, you know, this plus a ton more of, you know, gimmicks and gameplay modes and things that you can do in game that just add to the experience. Steamworld Heist is a completely different monster, but it's also very, very fun and satisfying when you figure out a level. This is great stuff, and it's cheap. It's 99 cents. So for a game that's on a lot of lists of like, ooh, we want to talk about some of the greatest indie games of all time, like Steamworld Dig tends to be on those lists, and for 99 cents, yes please. Super Bit Blaster XL. This game looks so simple. It almost looks dumb how simple it is. This is basically asteroids, but there's so much more to it because there are a bajillion different weapon power-ups. There are unlockable spaceships. There are, you know, things that happen in-game, bosses and whatnot that you just don't see in asteroids. And so it's a whole lot more than just, oh, somebody made an updated version of Asteroids. Yeah, but it's also like really, really well done. Oh, Atom Vision Studios again? Yeah, because they do a really good job of making simple gameplay that works. 47 cents. I'm telling you, Atom Vision Studios, they got them bundles. You might just want to pick up the bundle because, like, there's so many fun arcade style, old school style games that they have just made work. Teslagrad. Oh, Rain Games. I don't know why I thought that Supergiant made this. It's got a Supergiant kind of a feel to it. But yeah, this game, it's, you know, all about the Nikola Tesla, which, you know, people are weirdly obsessed with Nikola Tesla to an almost unhealthy degree sometimes. But yeah, you know, it is Metroidvania, like unlocking new powers and skills and abilities to do new things as you make your way through these levels. And it's got a great art style and a great story, and it's a really, really fun game. It's, you know, the level design is great. A Metroidvania that is competitive with some of the other great Metroidvanias that you have seen and heard of, you know, your Hollow Knights of the world, those types of games of Metroidvanias. Now, am I saying that Teslagrad is as good as Hollow Knight? No, it's not quite as good as Hollow Knight, but it is a really, really solid Metroidvania. You know, I'm not saying it's one of the greatest of all time, but I am saying that it is solidly good. If you play this game, you will have a good time. If you like Metroidvanias, this is a really good one. And so to get a game like this for 99 cents, yes, please. And I'm not kidding. I thought this was a Supergiant game because of the art style, because of how well the levels are laid out. It just felt Supergiant. And if you know Supergiant, they make nothing but quality games. And so the fact that I thought this was one of theirs, yeah, it tells you everything you need to know. Anyway, almost done, people. Hang in there. Ubermosh. There are a million Ubermosh games. This is Ubermosh Black. This just happens to be the first one that I played. They all have this, you know, scantily clad pixely art woman for some reason. But what they are, you know, roguelike arena hack and slash madness. There is, yeah, a game whose name I always forget. Is it Akami or something like that? It starts with an A and it's a Japanese sounding name. It's a game that I have on the Switch that is a similar, like, shoot and sword your way through tons and tons and tons of enemies and try to not die. And just, you know, make your way through this wave and then that wave and just keep going for as long as you possibly can. Once again, simple concept, but executed very well. There's a reason why there are so many Ubermosh games. There's like 7 of these, something like that. Yeah, you could get the whole collection. Yeah, Ubermosh 3, 5, 7, soundtrack, Black, Omega, Santicide, and Wraith. Yeah, so you get all of them games plus a soundtrack for $1.99, or Ubermosh Black for 27 cents. Like, it's a really, really good game that presents a reasonable challenge. And if that's not enough, she's showing most of a boob. So you know, there's that, I guess. 27 cents for the Ubermosh. Okay. Almost there. The Vagrant. This game, obviously, it's got a lot of fan service. Yeah, built on the Unreal Engine. Yeah, she just walking around scantily clad as all get out. And, you know, just jubblies jubbling. But it's also a really, really good game. Yeah, see all the other characters. Like, why is every woman in this game just stacked beyond belief? It's kind of ridiculous in that way, but it's a really good, you know, action RPG platformer hack and slashy type of game, and really, really fun to play. You'll be reminded of, oh, what's that game on the PS3, Dragon Crown, where it's like unnecessary amounts of fan service. Whereas, like, really, that's how we're going with the fan service. But yeah, you can do really interesting character builds, you know, improving your character over time, and then taking on crazy big old bosses and whatnot. Like, it's the controls are really good. It's a really tight, well-made game with tons of fan service. And yeah, it punches well above its weight class, and it is currently 79 cents. You could get the whole bundle for $25.89. Some of these look like they're just all fan service and not even a game, really. But yeah, the Vagrant, it falls into that category, except for, like, it's an actual really good game. Last but not least, Zombies on a Plane. When I saw this, I had hopes that it would be exactly what it is. And it is. It's exactly what it is. So there are 3 game modes that you can play in this game. You can either play as the pilot, piloting the plane and trying to, you know, shake the zombies off through aerial maneuvers, but also remembering that this is a passenger style jumbo jet. And so it's not as maneuverable as you would think. And well, it's exactly as maneuverable as you would think, depending on your knowledge of aeronautics. But, like, yeah, and then you can also fight the zombies on the wings and fuselage of the plane, or you can fight the zombies inside the plane, and it's just dumb fun. It is dumb fun. How is this mixed reviews? I want to know what the people who bought this and were like, nah, I don't like it. What did you think it was gonna be? Because, like, did you think there was going to be a story of, like, how the zombies became? No, it's zombies on a plane. It's what it is. It's exactly what it sets out to be, and it's exactly as fun as it should be. It's really dumb. It's really fun. It's super straightforward in what it is, and you just play it for 49 cents. Also, there's the Deluxe. You get Zombies on a Plane, the digital art book, the soundtrack, Zombies on a Plane Santa, and Zombies on a Plane Helicopter, which, like, absolutely, come on. Zombies on a Plane. What more do you want? Anyway, people, that's going to do it for all of my budget games. We've gone the under 10. We've gone the under 5 for like 2 hours. This is a great category. Lots of really good games. We've gone the under 2 for entirely too long. We've gone under 1 for way longer than we should have because I just blather on endlessly. But I'm going to index this thing so you can actually make your way through. Anyway, if you watch this video, thank you. I really do appreciate everybody who stops by my little channel and enjoys in any shape or way the content that I put out. So hopefully this helps. Hopefully it helps your wallet in the Steam sale. Hopefully you can find games that you're going to enjoy that are not going to be very expensive. And before my bed music loops back around for the umpteenth time, let's just close it out. Thank you, people, for being here for this one. Check out the other videos if you haven't seen them yet, and I will see you in the next one. Okay, bye.